course, spirals are disks. So if you rotate them a bit, face them towards you like a CD, they look flat. And those are called edge-on spirals. And not all stars get blocked out by the SDSS telescope. Some of them are going to show up as these very bright, very solid-looking objects. And some galaxies are neither spiral or elliptical, but they're a complete mess because they're crashing together. They're merging galaxies. So these were the types of galaxy that people were asked to classify. Do you want to have a go at it? Yeah, go on. Now you can just shout at me because I used to be a teacher. Go on, someone. Yay. Edge on. Excellent. I saw a few hands going round and round there. Yay. Yep. Something a bit harder. Well, quite a few people were a bit confused by images like this. Actually, what they are is a nearby star, not quite nearby enough to be cut out by the telescope. But basically, you just have to look it up and zoom it out, and then it does turn out to be a star. I used to write down the long reference numbers of all of these just to see what on earth is going on, and finally I found out, oh, they're just stars. They're not massive, great pink galaxies with yellow stripes in them. What a shame. Yep. Different view of the star. This black area is because it's two different photographic plates. There was an overspillage of light onto this one. I'll ask someone better at physics than me why on earth that happens. I don't know. But now you're all expert classifiers. So the public got pretty good at it pretty fast. I said I was going to explain why on earth it matters which way round a galaxy is turning. Of course, it's not an inherent property of a galaxy itself. Hold a clock in front of you, its hands are going clockwise, unless they're the clock in my kitchen, of course. But turn it the other way and pretend it's transparent and they'd be going round the other way, so what on earth does it matter? Well, a few years ago, a scientist called Michael Longo was studying spiral galaxies. He studied 1,600 and noticed that there seemed to be more anti-clockwise than clockwise. Why on earth was this? And of course, go to the other side of them and there'd be more clockwise than anti-clockwise. So it's not going to be something the galaxy itself is doing. But what if it's something in the environment? And what if perhaps clusters of spirals tend to rotate the same way? Well, that's what Kate was working on. And she thought it wasn't true, she thought it was random. Or maybe she didn't think that, come to think of it. I haven't actually asked her because scientists have to start off assuming nothing. Otherwise it's not science. But in any case, she wanted to check it out. So that was why the clockwise and anti-clockwise got programmed in, and lots of people wrote to us to tell us, look, you do realise you're talking complete rubbish. And we had to keep explaining it again and again and again. That if there's some kind of bias shown across the universe, that violates the cosmological principle. Everything should look the same. It should be completely random, 50-50. And it was very disturbing when it turned out that the zoo seemed to be showing more anti-clockwise than clockwise as well. Now, why on earth would that be? Kate called it the axis of evil. You can see this was a few years ago, and that phrase was in the news quite a lot. Or was it perhaps one area? Or was it everywhere? It could be that the way the Sloan was looking, it showed a lot of anti-clockwise, and a lot of clockwise might be from the other side of the Earth. That would mean there's some kind of weird bias across the universe. We didn't have any evidence for that. This is what we seem to be seeing, as if the Earth was actually in the middle of something, and that was really, really worrying. What on earth could have been going on? Did we have to rethink the physics of the Big Bang? Well, as it turned out, no. They played a mean trick on us. Well, not that mean, because they did explain to us what was going on. They flipped over some of the images of the galaxies, not just the spirals, but all of them. If this bias was true, then there would have been an excess of clockwise spiral galaxies. There wasn't. There was still an excess of anti-clockwise spirals, even though the images were being flipped round. So what does that mean? Is there some deep psychological reason that we prefer anti-clockwise spirals to clockwise ones? I think we had a psychologist come onto the Galaxy Zoo forum to ask about that. Or was it simply because of the layout of the buttons? This is what our spiral galaxy button looked like. You just click one of these, and the anti-clockwise button is in the middle, so maybe it likes, and maybe our hands like going for that, maybe our eyes do. I did read a New Scientist study where a row of identical shirts was laid out, and people said they liked the one on the right the best. That's still being studied. We just don't know. In the meantime, well, this project was supposed to take several years, and I hoped for maybe 10 million classifications, that is about 10 people to click on each galaxy. In several years' time, something to look at later in their careers. So they were a bit worried when a lot of journalists wanted to interview them. We ended up being the second most emailed story. The most emailed story in July 2007 was "Man flies to a wedding a year early," and they've never ever forgiven him for that. And the second most emailed story was "Scientists seek galaxy hunt help." And they were a little disturbed to see that they were getting 75,000 classifications an hour. Rather more people found out about it than they were expecting. And then the zookeepers, as they called themselves, were finding we usually have 20 emails in our inbox. Why is it 200? Why is it 20,000? And then the server melted. Apparently a wire actually melted away. And whenever I logged on, it kept saying, "The server is taking too long to respond. Please wait. Please try again later." And that brought down even more emails. So they rapidly upgraded to different servers, thanking the technicians from the bottom of their hearts for not simply taking a pickaxe to them. And they thought, good heavens, we've got to have a place where all these people can discuss things, because they're all writing in with the same questions. The result is the Galaxy Zoo forum, and that's where I come in. My job is looking after that place. So every day I have to check all the threads for swearing and any spam and that kind of thing, and helping people around. And, well, I've got this really beautiful spiral, where shall I put it? Oh, put it in the best spirals thread. Why are you checking the galaxy rotation? Come and find the answer here. Oh, and I found this really weird thing. What on earth is it? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe so-and-so will know. There's a place for people to come and chat and also have quite a laugh and arrange visits to Jodrell Bank and that kind of thing. There's about 9,000 people on there now, including Rick, who's done a lot of absolutely genius stuff. Well, two of the projects going on the forum quite a lot. One is the merging galaxies, which you identified earlier, galaxies crashing together. We can never actually see this happening. Each one takes billions of years. So we do like to add up lots and lots of mergers and think, this is an early stage, this is a late stage. And what becomes of them once they've quite finished merging? Do they stay a weird shape forever? Probably not. And then this unknown person, who called himself by the catchy name of NGC 3314, came onto the forum and asked, could everybody please collect any galaxies which are overlapping each other but are not merging? I want to gather data. We thought, why is he doing that? So we wrote to him saying, what do you want that for? And it turns out he was a